Hi, Colin. We're ready whenever you are.
Okay. Let me get it up then.
Hi, nice to see
Hey, yeah, nice to see you. Thanks for inviting me.
you. No worries. It's a pleasure to have you. Yeah.
Okay. Let me get it up then.
Let me just do a quick intro. I mean, I'm sure it's not needed, but let me just in case if
Yeah,
somebody.
nice to see you. Thanks for inviting me.
Um. No worries. It's a pleasure to have you. What's happening? Yeah.
Okay.
Oh. All right. Hi, everyone. We have Colin here. He's the founder and a founder of Nano Foundation, and he's also the CEO of Nano Foundation. So this session will be about introduction to Nano, mostly targeted towards the hackers who will be developing during the hackathon. And we'll take a couple of questions in the end if we have some time. Is that okay, Colin?
Yep, absolutely.
All right. Thank you. Over to you.
All right. Let me share my screen here. Oh, it looks like I don't have permission. Can you give me that to share my screen?
I'm so sorry. Yeah. Can you try now, please?
Perfect. Okay, is everything showing up?
Yep, it's all good.
Perfect. Hey everyone, and thanks for joining this presentation and coming to the hackathon. I want to, give you information kind of about Nano, what we're doing, what our goals are, and everything kind of about how we operate and what our intent is. So, thanks a lot for tuning in. Well, to start off, I think it's good to state, what we're trying to do as Nano as a whole. So, what is the problem that we face, and what are we trying to solve? So, what we're trying to solve here are problems with the existing banking system that are complex, slow, and they're exclusionatory. If you can see over on the right, it's about 1.7 billion people in the world don't have access to bank accounts, and that largely cuts them off from the rest of the world as far as economics goes. So we want to fix that problem and make everything easier and more inclusive. So our solution is, it's a difficult thing to work on, cryptocurrency. It has a lot of technical things that have been worked on. Obviously, this whole industry has been around for 10 years, and lots of people are trying different solutions. But we think the way that we're doing it will, make currency resistant to manipulation, fees, complexity. And our goal is for Nano to be spent, sent, and accepted as real money. So the focus is currency. So why is Nano better than banking solutions? Well, Nano doesn't have hidden fees. So if you send one Nano, the recipient on the other end gets one Nano. It makes, in addition to not charging people directly up inside the transaction for it, it actually makes it a lot easier and intuitive for people to understand. So if you send somebody one Nano, they receive one Nano. They don't receive 0.99999, which can be confusing to people. Nano is incredibly fast. That's one of our main focuses, is to not only allow more transactions per second to go through the network, which is inclusive, but it's also to make sure the transactions complete as fast as possible so that there aren't delays. Delays make it less useful for money. So one of our goals is to try to make that as quick as possible. And decentralization is also one of our main focus areas. The banking system is partially exclusive, and they don't have a lot of reason to improve on it because they're the gatekeepers to the monetary system. So really opening it up to everyone in the world means that they can't sit and give us inferior technology, slower money transfer, more expensive money transfer, because they're not the sole gatekeepers of the network. Why is Nano better than cash in your pocket? Well, with Nano, it's money in your pocket. If you have the keys, it's your money, and you can use it as you wish. If your money is locked up by a third party, you're kind of at their whims as to how it can be used. Nano is inflation resistant. It's a big problem in a lot of the world is debasement of the currency. There are some currencies that do it pretty well. USD, euros, GBP, all those the big currencies have very low inflation rates, but there are a lot of currencies in the world that are highly susceptible to inflation, and it makes life difficult for everyone that uses it. And then all of your money is accessible in your pocket. It's the network runs 24 hours a day. It's continuously operating, and you have access, since you have your keys, to send and receive at any time of your choosing. So cryptocurrency as a whole, so it solves the settlement problem, and this is something that can be emulated in the existing banking network. If you have a banking app and you send money to someone else, it can appear instant, but what that relies on is having credit, essentially credit with the banks that you're operating with. They put up the credit in order to deliver the money for you, and cryptocurrency gives instantaneous delivery. So rather than waiting for notes or coins to end up with the actual person, in the end, cryptocurrency can settle it as soon as your transaction is confirmed. So you can move it essentially at the speed of light, or as fast as the internet can move that transaction over. And as a comparison on the bottom, one of our main focus points is low transaction latency. So nano transactions typically are around 1 second or so, give or take. And Bitcoin transactions and a lot of the transactions in other cryptocurrencies take significantly longer. So why is Nano better than other cryptocurrencies out there? So Nano Foundation is a nonprofit organization. We didn't do an ICO. We haven't done any fundraising. It's a pure technology organization. So we're not backed by greed that a lot of other cryptocurrencies are backed by. We want to keep fees low. We want to keep expenses low, and we want the technology to run as fast as possible. Nano is a currency. It's not a speculative asset. It is meant to be spent, sent, used any place that you would use a currency in real life, and that's the intent of how it's to be used. And Nano's eco-friendly. One of the big issues with some cryptocurrencies is how their network operates, and it requires a lot of energy expenditure in order to for their network to operate. And that is problematic, especially in a world that's increasingly aware of our environmental impact. One of our goals is to make sure that impact is as low as possible. So let's look under the hood of what Nano is and kind of how it works. This is a simple depiction of a little bit of how the Nano network works internally. So this is compared to Bitcoin because that's usually what people understand. So Nano, it allows each line in that graphic is an account in Nano. And what Nano's designed to do is have a way for all of those accounts to operate independently. And as you can see, when you do that, you're not restricted by the limits of doing a single item per unit of time as are in other chains. So this is lower resource usage, higher scalability, asynchronous transactions. So if there's a slowdown in one place, it doesn't necessarily slow down in other places. And it's far more sustainable. So a couple of the details about how Nano is different. So Nano uses a vote-based consensus mechanism, and this replaces miners or the energy expenders in networks. Some of the cryptocurrencies do vote-based currencies, and then others do the mining in order to get consensus. Nano has a concept called open representative voting, and that is the main way that we get decentralization in our network, rather than the network being like decided, or the people being in control of the network simply being the ones with the most advanced hardware or the access to the cheapest energy. Nano validators are chosen by your balance in the system. So if you own Nano or get delegated Nano, that is how you participate in the network, and that gives us a very good decentralization characteristics. Again, there's no fees in the transaction. If you're going to run a node, these are some of the specs that currently we have in order to operate a node. We support all the major operating systems out there. It's a portable code, and we do have a Docker container that's set up just to easily get you started on it. So if anybody is going, or if any of the teams out there are setting one up, you can just get the Docker container if you want to try it out quickly. So these are the tracks we have for the Unblocked conference. Social enterprise and payments theme. So if you can get the best app for Nano on KaiOS. KaiOS is a mobile operating system that people have been recently focusing on. So that would be an interesting area. Payment themes create a simple payment processor or UI, a mobile app that people can use, possibly in a small business, or if they're an independent company, just a solo person, they can accept it with a simple application. Or social enterprise, so gamifying Nano in some way to get people interested in it and draw them into development on top of Nano. For anyone that is interested in this, you can join our Indian community on Telegram. There's a link there, just Nano India. We have community managers there and a whole bunch of other people that can help you out with what you want to know about Nano. So yeah, really the best way to understand kind of how Nano is different than a lot of these is to spend, send, and accept Nano yourself.
I'm going to interrupt. Your screen's frozen, so no one can see the slides.
Oh no.
Okay, so just go back. Yeah.
To which one?
Back. Yeah, right back to ORB. That's where we got crashed.
Okay. All right.
Colin,
Anupan, are you still there?
Yeah, if you could like, start the screen sharing again, that would be perfect. Yeah.
Okay, let's try this.
Sorry about this, Colin.
Oh, it's all right. I think we all got to deal with it. Okay, is that showing again?
Yeah, it's good. It's good, Colin. Yeah.
Okay, so I think this is the last one people saw. Are we seeing the payment themes?
No. Maybe if you could just this one. Yeah, from here on.
Okay, yeah, perfect. So I did describe all these payment themes, but now you can kind of take a look at what they are. So again, just the best app for Nano using KaiOS, a payment processor or UI, or gamification of Nano.
No, the ORB.
Are you guys seeing my screen right now?
Yeah, it looks good. Looks good.
You have the Nano Telegram page?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yep, so here's the link. So really what I was saying is the best way for people to understand Nano is really just to try it out. So, spend, send, accept, try it out for yourself. We did put in the notes to get a Natrium wallet. Really, standing next to someone and sending Nano between two phones is really the best way to understand just how quickly and how easily Nano can be sent and how easy it is compared to all the alternatives that are out there. So if you're registered as one of the Nano teams, join the Telegram, get in contact with the mods, and we will help you get started. So I got the Q&A.
Yeah, thank you, Colin. Thanks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was great. So the first question is, the Nano community is quite there and excited about the whole project. They want to know, like, how can they do more? What else that they can do to, further the Nano adoption?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the biggest things we need, obviously, is developers, and that's why we're here today. We're talking with people that are, coders. We need, people, in addition to making the services that we have, we always have a need for people to make contributions to the node itself, or make technical improvements to the code. So that type of thing is really, really helpful to us. There's a lot of people that are very enthusiastic about it, and then a limited number of people that are able to, do the coding and the updating that we need. So we're always looking out for people like that.
Makes sense. Yeah. I'll take the next question. All right. So somebody's asking, they have not heard any developments from Appia. How is that project going? And if we can hear anything about it in the future?
I mean, that one's going on in the background still. I mean, my main focus for the last year has been exclusively Nano. So, I mean, we'll update that when there's an announcement, but Nano is our focus.
All right, makes sense. What will happen to the Nano protocol and nodes development after the Nano development fund depletes? Is it going to be fully handled by the community-based or voluntary basis, or are there any other plans?
Yeah, I mean, what we're modeling this after is open source projects. So things like Linux or GCC or any of the big, like Ubuntu, any of the big projects out there that are open source, they all have people that are using those systems contributing into them, either financially or through development resources, which is really what is the most valuable thing. So the network Nano is open source. It's an open protocol, and Nano Foundation, we work on that exclusively, and we encourage other people to be working on it as well. It's not limited by Nano Foundation. It's really limited only by the users of the Nano protocol on how we push it forward.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for the developers who are going to start building on Nano? I mean, they probably have never heard of Nano and they're going to start for the first time. Do you have any special advice for them?
Well, I think if people that are completely new to cryptocurrency, I would say, you have to be, creative on on how to integrate things, but kind of the business side of me always says, make sure that you're focusing on your users and what is valuable to them. So it's fun to make an interesting project to it, but really your project will have long-term sustainability when you focus on what your users need. So it's inexpensive, fast, and something that solves a business problem for them. Simplicity is very, very important in all of this. A complex system is not going to be adopted by as many people because it's too easy for me to use a credit card right now. It really needs to be easier than a credit card, and I think Nano does that. So focus on those things, and I think you'll be pretty good.
Awesome. And are there any particular things that you're looking for when you go about judging the projects coming out of the hackathon? What are you exactly looking for in the winners? I think that would really help the developers.
Oh, interesting. So I would say the projects that are both solving a problem and then solving a problem that isn't already out there. So making a clone of a project can be a good way to start getting started on it. But if you can do like a unique thing that maybe hasn't done before, I mean that's what one of the things with the KaiOS project. Not a lot of people have developed on that mobile operating system before, so that would be something that is a new addition to it. So it's always kind of about fitting the niche and something that hasn't really been done before or possibly isn't being done as good and doing better. So those are the type of things we'll look at.
Yeah, definitely. Also, Colin, can we expect something like any further announcements, any future? You can tell us something about the future developments of the Nano Foundation, what direction you're headed from here, any developments that you can share at all?
I mean, there's a lot of kind of boring code updates on it. I mean, so our main focus is still being a currency and making sure we can process as many transactions as possible, as fast as possible, and then that all involves a lot of code modifications and improvements to various things. So I mean, I do have a roadmap. I don't have it in front of me. It's like a priority list of things that we're going to be going down, and the more people that we have to knock out all those items, the faster it'll go. So we want ease of use, lower resources, all that type of thing. And that's what we're going to be focusing on as far as the protocol.
Yeah. I noticed you mentioned about the first world countries having the credit cards and a very established financial system to process payments and everything. Does that mean you've also mentioned in 2019 during your Nano meetup in London that you will be more focused on countries where the financial system is broken, and in the presentation also you touched upon a little bit on that. So is it fair to say that you will be doing putting your more efforts in countries like India and Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Africa, where we do need some kind of financial inclusion and a lot of people don't have bank accounts?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I definitely think that people in those areas stand to benefit the most, and that's why we're always trying to do outreach to people. I don't think that that's something that I'm personally going to be able to solve, because I'm not in the areas. I think all of these things need to be solved by people in those areas, because they're really the ones that know how things work and how these things used. So education, or presenting and giving information, encouraging people to participate in these areas, I think is how that can be achieved. But I agree that the people that stand to benefit the most are primarily not inside of the US or inside of Europe or wherever, where everyone does have a bank account and a credit card easily accessible to them. It's going to be really the people that have been marginalized by the banking system, and should be included into the global economy. And that's what we're working on.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah. I'm not sure if you're aware of, in India, we have government has come up with this system called UPI, which is transactions from one bank to another. They're almost instant transactions, but they are slightly laggy. Sometimes they fail, sometimes they pass. And I keep thinking in the back of my head, it would be great if Nano is in the background of this. But for that, I think there needs to be a little stability in the currency. So I was wondering, what's your take on price volatility of Nano? If you're going to use it as currency in the future, then it needs to be slightly more stable, won't you think?
Yeah. So I mean, I agree. It does. I think all cryptocurrencies have to be more stable. The whole industry is very, very volatile. But I think what people kind of miss sometimes is that fiat currencies issued by governments are also not stable. We use them as a reference point, kind of, and we see slight fluctuations with it. But there is no such thing whatsoever as a thing that its value does not change over time. There's always going to be slight variations. So the question is, what does it take in order to have lower variation in what that price is. So the way that works is going to be through increased volume and through increased usage. When it's moves away from the idea of, a cryptocurrency, or moves away from Nano being a speculative asset and into a currency, when there's a lot of people going in and out continuously and they're using it as currency, you don't have these big, huge purchases of it that somebody holds for a while and then they like dump it all off for a long time. When it's a lot of people doing smaller amounts, that's where we get the stability from. So that worked really nice because it meshes with our goal of increasing adoption of Nano. Those two things go hand in hand. Higher adoption, higher usage of it brings lower volatility, specifically because the supply of Nano cannot be changed, and that's what drives it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So I have been following Nano for a very long time, and I know that you've mentioned a couple of times that you stay away from smart contracts and not make it a privacy coin. Is that still your stance on both the aspects?
Well, I'll break those into two parts. So the privacy thing, personally, I do sympathize with the idea of private currency. I think it would be better if people have privacy in the transactions that they have. I think there's two things kind of right now in front of us in the industry as it is that make it not feasible at the current time, which is why we're not focusing on it. One of them is is whether or not the privacy methods that are used are effective. It's not sufficient to kind of just a little obfuscate it, because that gives you a false sense of security. A lot of these systems can be analyzed. Some don't have public ways of knowing how to analyze them, but I think that it just needs more rigorous academic cryptanalysis on these type of things to really say that this is secure, which is why I haven't jumped on those right now, because I just haven't seen a lot of information about that. The other part is that we're trying to make a change away from the current banking system into using cryptocurrency. And the current banking system is very, very much about establishing identity and tracing all these things and doing this. And this goes to kind of like the entrepreneur conundrum, is you don't want to change two things at once. You don't want to change more than one thing at once. So moving people from banking system to a cryptocurrency where it can loosely be traced with account numbers is regulatorily right now acceptable, and privacy coins, according to regulations, are becoming increasingly not acceptable. Yeah. So right now, moving to privacy would probably, as other coins have done, get Nano delisted from virtually everywhere, and it would be inaccessible. So while I do like the idea, I think it's practically not implementable right now. And I see an advantage to moving to a cryptocurrency. So I would just rather focus on that currently. On the smart contracts, personally, I don't see a lot of output or like actual businesses, actual products that a lot of people are using being used on that. And so there's kind of the question of what can smart contracts give us that people will actually use inside of a business. And then the other aspect is any sort of the resource usages that go into the Nano network would get partially at least diverted into solving the smart contract system. And I think it's more important for currency to have high throughput and low latency than to add a feature, which is smart contracts. I think smart contracts can be solved separately through a separate network, kind of as a second layer that just uses currency. That's one of the things that the smart contract can do. Purportedly, the smart contracts can do a lot of other things. So putting those in their own system, I think, is the proper way to design it.
Perfect. Yeah. Colin, thank you so much for coming in, and thank you for participating in the hackathon. Also, it really means a lot for us in the community, Nano community in India, and like crypto community in general also. And I'll keep you updated and your team with all the solutions that come out of the hackathon and all the projects and all the people that are building on top of it.
Perfect. Thanks, Nupan. Thanks, everyone,
Thank
for
you.
watching.
Thanks.
It's really
Bye-bye.
good.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi guys. There's some emergency uh, Abhishek has run into, and he's having to deal with that at this moment. He's out right now, so it's impossible for him to connect. But we'll definitely try to get him for the next one, or maybe tomorrow if he's all right. I hope it's nothing serious. But I would like to cover in for him, and I'll share my screen and talk a little bit about our hackathon um, so yeah, I mean, or maybe I'll start talking about our previous hackathon, how it went, and how the developers can try to not repeat the mistakes that developers in the past hackathon made some mistakes, and how we can try to avoid those mistakes. So last hackathon was our first hackathon that we hosted. We have been hosting events for a very long time, number of years, blockchain events only. Last event included a hackathon. It was our virtual summit, the Road to Metamorphosis 2, and then Decentral Hacks was the hackathon that was followed by soon after the summit. We had pretty good sponsors last time. We had Harmony, we had Elastos, we had Matic. Now Matic is called something else. Um, CoinGecko was there, and Sheikh Sahab was also there, and we also had Greenhouse, which is the product of Block Test. These guys pulled together around $15,000 to give away to the winners, and people had built a really good solutions on top of these. Developers were at it. They were hacked for, I think, 6 days. Was the hackathon, if I'm not wrong, 24th till 29th. Oh wait, that's like 4 or 5 days. 5 days of hackathon, they were at it, and it was pretty cool. um if we look at the judges, well, judges were from Elastos, and these three from Elastos, and he's from Harmony. Let's take a look at the submissions. Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of submissions. I think we got, I think these ones we got online, but after the hackathon had ended, people still kept submitting their projects. There are plenty of submissions for sure. Um, let's go through the winners. And we had also written this nice um, blog on Decentral Hacks and about the winners that we had gotten out of it. Here you go. How a challenge breeds creativity for brilliant ideas. The first one was Electrocrypt. Let's see. The best Matic hack was won by Kashif. Greenhouse Sahil, Sheikh Sahab Avi, and Utkarsh. Decentral Hacks ambassador was this guy. Elastos was won by these two guys. And unfortunately, Harmony did not award anyone because people just didn't have time for Harmony, which is why we've kept the Harmony. Learning from our mistakes, we've kept this hackathon for as long as 10 days. People can still start building. Today's 6th of March, and they can still start building if they've made their teams and everything, and go on till 20th of March, which gives them around 14 to 15 days to build, which is quite a decent amount to build on any kind of an app. Um, these were the really very creative hacks that had come out from the hackathon. So if you look at Electrocrypt, they deployed it on Matic. I mean, you can pretty much find all these. This is the team, and you can pretty much find what tech stack they used and what programming language they use, and all kinds of stack and how it works, and all the Git commits and everything. That it is pretty much. Oh, it looks like these guys kept working on it even after finishing it. That's pretty darn cool. And then the next one is Danveer. Again, pretty decent project. It was focused around COVID-19 because at the time we had just, gotten into lockdown and everybody was talking about how we can solve certain problems around the entire pandemic that had struck at the time. So they built the solution around COVID-19. Yeah, I mean, pretty interesting project once again. Let's move on to blood bank. Blood bank might seem like a very generic idea, again focused around COVID-19 pandemic, um, but they did a pretty good job at it. I remember these guys were at it in Discord and asking questions and really building a robust solution around it. Pretty neat. They also used like ZK snarks and all the high tech technology. Um, this was submitted by Gokul to Harmony. And then there was DSOC, decentralized storage for cases. Yeah, I mean, we handpicked these 4 hacks out of the hackathon last time. There were many others that were there, and we had submitted all of them to the sponsors and our partners of the hackathon to pick them up and pick the winners out of them. moving on moving on to this hackathon. This hackathon is pretty exciting. Of course, it is exciting. We have pretty good speakers coming up, and Colin just finished his session. That was like the most exciting sessions of all, and there were like, I don't know, 200 or maybe 300 people join us for the session, and everybody was pretty excited. So today we have Abhishek couldn't come, so I'm trying to fill in for him. Who was there from SnapX? Colin had come. Next we have Kashif. He's going to be talking about crypto regulation in India, and he's the guy to talk in India about crypto regulation. And if you go to his Twitter, you'll find all about he's always on the top of his game when it comes to regulation, and he himself is a lawyer, and his startup is called Crypto Qanun, if I'm not wrong, which basically translates into crypto, regulation. Pretty good partners, and of course, as you know, Nano and Near and Lastos, and these guys are sponsoring our hackathon. So if you move on to Hacker Earth page, yeah. I mean, talking about the themes we have for this hackathon, these themes are not just any general themes. General themes, we try to, stay away from the general themes. Like COVID-19 was there last time. So this time we were like, we want to be more focused around our sponsors. Like what are these, not just sponsors, but like our partners also, and whoever is sponsoring the prize. So like, let's just sit down and think about what these guys do. So for instance, if Nano does a certain kind of a functionality and what Nano is really good at, and Nano is the one who's giving away the prize, so it would probably make sense to have a theme around payments, which is what we did. We have a theme around payments, and then we have a theme around social initiatives, and then gamification is just like, it's pretty standard theme for every hackathon. And smart wallets and data management, just in case hackers want to just think outside the box and away from payments and social initiatives, they can look into smart wallets and data management. But that being said, we don't restrict these guys just for these themes. If they want to take Nano and probably build something around it which is totally different from this theme, they're free to do that, and they can propose their idea to Nano and take it from that. These themes are just to give them a circle to think from. Like, okay, maybe I can. Because last time what happened was, hackers were confused and a little lost because not all the developers were very was probably they were first time getting into cryptocurrency and the blockchain space, so they were just still a little hesitant to understand and how to go about it and build about it. At that time also we did some mentor sessions, but they were not such in-depth sessions this time, which is why we have given around like five days or 6 days for the session, so that developers can come, they can learn from the experts and get mentors on board. And we also have one in-house mentor who is a phenomenal blockchain developer. And while the hackathon goes on, he's going to be interacting with these guys who are building and talking to them, what are they building, if they need any help and everything. So just, yeah, I mean, learning from your mistakes, that's what we did. Nano is giving away pretty cool prices. um, and the best part that I like about, on top of all the money thing, is they get a chance to connect with the Nano Foundation to scale their project. That's quite awesome. um, and yeah, near protocol, I've been told it's very difficult to build on near, but yeah, um, I have been in touch with some developers who are also building on near and Nano, and they're also looking at into CXI Hub Bounty and Elastos. Well, I think there's one guy who's building on Elastos, if I'm not wrong. We shall see how the results come out. So far, we have 245 registrations, and we have 4 more days to go. And hopefully, by the end of it, we cross 500 or maybe 600, 700. Who knows? If you, like how much buzz we can create around it, and how much buzz these 245 developers can create around the hackathon. That's going to be more important. Um, yeah, so we are just pretty stoked about this entire hackathon. We're gonna wrap up the hackathon on the 20th, and the judges will decide the winners by the 26th. Um, that's pretty much it. Just to show you a little bit about our journey in the blockchain space. Um, this was the first meetup that we did. This was probably 2016, mid 2016, where just a bunch of us used to get together and discuss what is blockchain, what are cryptocurrencies, and how we can go about things. It is just pretty exciting time. We call it how to keep your Bitcoin wallet secure. Then there were other ones, 2017, 2000. Wait a minute. Oh, this is the latest one. Again, 2017 Sundays, blockchain Sundays. Um, yeah, this one actually happened when I was in Nepal. So I think someone else covered this one for me. Again, this one, let's meet up and talk Bitcoin. Yeah, this was the first one, 2016, July 3, 2016 Sunday. And we had just did like 4 or 5 people in Connaught Place. And then we did some sessions around how people can invest in cryptocurrencies and how to be safe, because at the time there were a lot of scams running around in the country, and they were just not legit projects. So our idea was in that year, 2017-18, was to just make people aware about what's happening, tell them that, maybe call out those projects who are just scamming them, asking them for money and promising them exorbitant returns in dollars, sometimes in Bitcoin, sometimes in INR, which is just like impossible. They would do, what they would do is, like, they would ask them to give them Bitcoins so that they're safe. And then they would tell them that, once you give us 5 Bitcoins, and we would give you back, say 5 Bitcoins was worth 1 lakh at the time. They would say that, every month we would give you 20,000 rupees, which is a 20% gain on their investment. And every month, if they get 20,000, they'll break even by the time they hit 5th month. And they would promise that they would keep doing that for the next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, but that never happened. They just really lost all the money. And I remember telling a lot of people to stay away. Actually, funny story, this guy had also come to a meetup, the second meetup we'd done, and then he was trying to scam me. And he's like, Anupam, you sign up to this website. I won't name the website. You sign up to this website, and you just have to give me these many Bitcoins, and then I'll give you back these many Bitcoins back, and all the money back, and this back, and you just have to stay invested. So this is how this scam coin called BitConnect was one of the top 10 cryptocurrencies out there back in the days. Pretty exciting, pretty not, I wouldn't say exciting times at the time, but a lot of scam projects, a lot of ICOs, scams, a lot of very weird times in the industry. But we sailed through. Bitcoin. Come 2018, Bitcoin crashed to $3,000 in 2020, and there was a nightmare. Everybody thought that Bitcoin is dead, just like they have been thinking for many years, so many times that Bitcoin is dead. Bitcoin is dead. Everybody keeps coming and telling me Bitcoin is dead, and then it goes up. They keep calling me and asking me, how do I invest in Bitcoin? How do I invest in Bitcoin? It's funny. But yeah, like we didn't ever stop our meetups. We kept doing aggressive events around Bitcoin and blockchain in general and cryptocurrency. So the entire idea of us doing these events is to like, it's how it started was from me just starting out, and I got so passionate about this industry and entire cryptocurrency ecosystem. And the people that I was meeting from this space were like so enthusiastic also about this space, and how we're gonna how we're gonna wreck the banks, and that this is the future and everything. It was just exciting to try to tell more people about this, and make them aware about this space, and in the right way, because a lot of people were getting scammed. And if you see 2016, 17, 18 times, a lot of people lost a lot of money in the crypto scams, which is why the government had to come out and say that Bitcoin is banned and Bitcoin is bad for you and all of that stuff. um, it could be one of the reasons, because thousands of crores. This one guy, I mean, he's jailed now. He had scammed so many people with so much money. It's unreal, which is why we thought that we'll come out and we'll talk to these everyone, and it has been a great journey. And in 2017, we hosted India's largest cryptocurrency meetup. Should I call it a meetup? It was a gigantic meet. There were around 300, 400 people had come. Nicholas Carey had come. So it was, and we partnered with Cointelegraph at the time to host this event. It was a very fun event, and a lot of people had turned up just to see. And a lot of people also pitched their ideas to get funding from Cointelegraph, which was also interesting. And they had gone to Singapore. The winner had gone to Singapore for another round of funding from Delhi. And after the ban had struck, so we also kind of went silent under the hood. So 2019 was very quiet for us up until April 2020, when Supreme Court said, "Oh, like let's go Bitcoin. You are allowed to trade in Bitcoin and everything." So we hosted last year. We hosted one of the largest, virtual summits out there, the Road to Metamorphosis. Oh, well, interesting story here also. We were planning to host Metamorphosis in Bangalore, which was supposed to be a pretty good event, pretty gigantic event also, but we couldn't do it because, well, I don't have to state what happened last year, the entire pandemic and the lockdowns and everything. So we went entirely virtual, just like everybody else. All the event companies had also gone virtual. The Road to Metamorphosis, so we called it the Road to Metamorphosis 2020. And then the next one would be the Road to Metamorphosis 2. And now we are here at the Road to Metamorph. Oh, wait, not 3. I was just 2. And then the next one, hopefully, we'll just do Metamorphosis. This one we did Unblock 2021, which is also a hackathon, but also a summit, because there are a lot of speakers are here to speak. I think that's pretty much sums up our journey. While we are at it, I'm going to also run you through what we actually do, what pays our bills. The event side of things doesn't pay our bills and keep the lights on. This thing, what we do as our services, this pays the bills. And what we do is content marketing for blockchain companies. We have a pretty awesome clients who we work with every other day. Out of them is this Newton, is an exchange based out of Canada, Moher Wolf from Thailand, IDEX Europe, and New York Crypto, of course, from New York. Bybit Singapore, Centric US, Femex is Thailand, Singapore, CoinMarketCap. Who doesn't know CoinMarketCap? And they are pretty great clients of ours. And of course, CryptoMat, Cointelegraph. These are like, we wouldn't be here if it weren't for these guys, and they support us a lot in our journey, and they also participate in our event side of things. So the event side of things that we do is, most of it is non-profit. We don't try to make a lot of profit from it. um, because it started off that way. Now, just because it is under the umbrella of Octaloop, which is our content marketing servicing agency, people think that we make money out of event side of things also, which to say that we don't, but we don't make a lot, as in like, we, whatever we make, we try to put in the communities and the events that we organize and everything within, because it won't be feasible for us to survive that way. Yeah, that's the client side of story. And we keep, if you need our services, you please let us know. We're always looking for some great clients to work with, and the services that we provide, we can put you in touch with these guys. They'll tell you how great we are with our content marketing and inbound marketing. Yeah, and you can always go through our services page and see all the things that we do. And this nice letter in the end about us. Who are we? We are creative folks. um, Yeah, so that's me. Um, I have some experience in crypto and community building, and in the blockchain sphere also. Manu, he's the content lead, marketing lead at Octaloop. He is a phenomenal writer and really knows blockchain inside out. Girish, he's not with us, doesn't work with us anymore. He left a couple of months ago, but again, he was a great writer. Unnat, he is still with us, and he does great development work for us. And Aniket, all the beautiful designs that you see on the website, on our deck, on our anything that we do with designs, Aniket is the go-to guy, and he does such great work. There are two more people that should be mentioned here, but they recently joined. So we'll hopefully have them in the list very soon. But their names are Prachi and Nikhil, and they deserve a mention because they have been exemplary with their work so far, and it wouldn't have been possible to organize this whole thing without them. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I think pretty much covered everything. Just really looking forward to the hackathon itself. It starts on the 10th. The team building and everything has started already yesterday, goes until 9th March. And in the 10-day period, hackers are going to hack and we are going to watch. And we're looking forward to what they build on top of Nano, Near, Elastos. It's going to be exciting. Yeah. And now we will wait for Kashif. Kashif, right? Yeah. We'll wait for Kashif Raza. He'll be there in at 6 o'clock, and that leaves us 20 minutes. And I will take a break, and then we'll be right back. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye. Hi, Kashif. Kashif, are you there? Hi, Kashif. Kashif, can you hear me? Yeah, he can't.
Hello.
Hi, Kashif. Can you hear me okay?
Just a second. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Give me just 2 minutes, right?
Yeah, we'll just give 10 minutes. Kashif, we'll start at 6 o'clock. We're expecting more people to join. Is that okay?
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Anupam, am I audible?
Yes, Kashif. Yeah, pretty.
So how you'll conduct this session? So will it be discussion based, or how you're supposed to do it?
Yeah, we discussed a discussion, an informal sort of a discussion.
Uh,
Is that okay?
So it'll be like you'll ask some questions.
Yeah. Just so that you know, Kashif, we are live also. Like right now, people are still online, and it's live on YouTube also. So people are viewing on YouTube. Just so you know.
Okay, so there are people who are live as well, right?
Yeah. They're live on YouTube and they're live here also.
All right. So how many people are there approximately as participants?
I'm not sure about YouTube. Right now, we have around 15, 20 people here, and then YouTube, we have more than that.
Okay.
Yeah. Colin had come just before you, and yeah, that was the room got filled, so people had to go to YouTube. Zoom, like we have the plan on of Zoom that can only have 100 people at a webinar, but like the room was way above, like there was like 500 people. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Kashif, we'll just wait for another 2 minutes and we can start if that's okay with you.
no problem, no problem.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, if you have any other questions, then I'm happy to answer.
No. So I just wanted to understand the format only. That's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, we'll just go. I have some questions. We can just go do like that, and you can just go in detail as you feel going into the questions, the answers if you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your whole program had started at 3 p.m., right?
Started 3:45.
3:45.
Yeah. So it started on the 4th of March. So we've been doing 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. All the
Okay.
mentor sessions, speaker sessions happen these days. And then hackathon begins on the 10th. And then 10th to 20th is the hackathon.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the objective? So you do it like every year? Because I've been seeing that you did it last year as well, I guess.
Yeah. So I've been doing blockchain meetups. We started off very small in 2016 in Delhi. Like 5, 8 people used to meet out of coffee shops in 2016. And then we gradually, like, you know, how crypto space works, it's just like very fast. So we also grew really, really fast. And
Okay.
by the time 2017 comes and we hosted a very large meetup with Cointelegraph in India. At that time, it was the largest meetup in India.
Okay.
Um,
Amazing.
and then, yeah, but then the ban came about. 2019 was very, very quiet for us. And we were just very silent. We were also afraid to do anything until, of course, the Supreme Court verdict came out in March 2020. And then we were like at it. We did 2 virtual summits and 1 hackathon, one after the other. And this is the third hackathon that we are doing and summit along with it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So can you just tell me what Octaloop does? So what is their main business? I mean, are they into marketing or are they into providing business solution in terms of marketing and stuff, or there is
Octaloop,
something else?
Octaloop, the main core business of Octaloop that, you know, turns on the light and pays all our bills is we do inbound marketing for blockchain companies. So we have content marketing, inbound marketing clients only from the blockchain space that we, you know, write for them, and we do all sorts of not just inbound marketing. And then the other side of Octaloop is the event side, which is this. Earlier it was completely, you know, non-profit thing when we started, and it was going a non-profit thing, but now it had come into Octaloop's umbrella. So it's sort of a profit thing, but we still try to, whatever we make, we try to give it back to the community and put in all the money that we make into organizing events for blockchain people and everything. So that's the entire plan. And we also, you know, we get clients from the event side, and then we have them for the a marketing side also. So we keep flipping clients from one you know, service to other. So that works out pretty well for us. The clients who wants to, for instance, if we have a client, for example, we've been working with one of the biggest exchanges out of Singapore, and you know, they would be happy to participate in the community events also, because that's how a blockchain community is. You know, they're very participating and
So,
want to help out and everything.
so you must be providing um, marketing solutions to so many crypto companies, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. So all
And
the clients you can see, we work with the Cointelegraph very closely. We work with CoinMarketCap very closely also. And like I have like the list you can find on our website, or the list
Yeah,
is.
I've seen that list. The list is quite impressive. So
Yeah,
before
thanks.
finalizing your this thing, that when you approached me, so I was not knowing much about Octaloop, but when I went to the website and saw the clients you have served and the number of participants and the kind of events you have done in the past, so those were like quite impressive. So that's when I decided to let's go ahead with this.
Yeah, thank you, Kashif. It's great to have you. And the clients that we have mentioned are only the clients that we, do the marketing side for. We have not mentioned the event side of clients because those clients just come to support us, and that means a lot. We don't try to make money out of them. It's just very nice for them to sponsor and partner with hackathon stuff. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And also, Kashif, if I may say, the work that you have been doing around regulation in India is just very, very impressive. And really, and all the tweets, I'm a big follower. I've also mentioned you in one of the Cointelegraph articles. If you remember, last year, I had sent you also that article. So yeah, I mean, great work so far,
Yeah,
Kashif.
thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. So basically, what Anupam, our objective is to make things simpler to understand. I mean, so what happens that regulation at times, the regulatory papers, the documents, and what is happening around the world. So our job is to make things simpler for people to understand. So even even in the government side, I mean, if you see the politicians, they also like to learn things in their own local language rather than understanding it from a very complex perspective. They want to understand it in a very simplified manner, and so that is our whole objective. That is what we try to do, and I think people are liking that stuff. So
Yeah,
that's the whole.
100%, 100%.
And when we entered into this space, so it was not planned at all. So it's just that there was this area which was lying vacant, where we thought that we can add value. So that's the whole objective.
Yeah, perfect. So, Kashif, let me just formally introduce you, and then we can kick off.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining for the last session of the day. And we have Kashif Raza from Crypto Qanun. And if you are from this industry and you are from India, I am pretty sure you know about Kashif and his work that he's been doing around crypto regulation in India, and keeping all of us informed who pretty much don't get people who don't get time with, reading about regulation. He's the guy to follow on Twitter. So the session will be very conversational, and we will just ask a couple of questions to Kashif, and I won't stop him if he wants to go very deep in the answer, and if he wants to just answer on a surface level. No pressure, Kashif.
No,
So yeah, uh,
no problem. I'm here, and you can ask me as many questions as possible, and I'll try to answer them in the best possible way, and try to simplify things rather.
yeah, yeah. Perfect. So Kashif, my first, I'd like to begin with the all the fear that crypto people involved with crypto, big businesses or small businesses, individuals or professionals, they are all kind of scared right now. They have their crypto in their ledgers. They don't know what to do with. They have come to me time and again, and they're just really really worried, to be very honest with you. They're worried what to do with it. Should they leave the country and open a bank account in Singapore and cash that out there and open a bank account, then come back to India? Or like what should they do? How should they go about their crypto holdings?
So so this is one question I think most of the people they ask me, and even in my own family, my siblings, they also ask me this question. So they say, Bhai, that you had pushed us to invest in crypto. Now you tell us the exit strategy. So this is the same question which you have asked me.
Yeah.
So Anupam, first of all, if you are aware about the development which happened yesterday,
Yeah.
right? So there were two parts of the story. One, with the story which was before yesterday event, what happened yesterday, and after yesterday's event, things have actually changed, right? So before yesterday, what was happening, that many media outlets were trying to cover crypto or the regulatory space in such a way that they were saying that as per their sources, India is going to ban cryptocurrencies. India is going to pass an ordinance where they plan to ban the cryptocurrencies altogether, right? India is planning to bring a bill. India is planning to bring an ordinance. So when you used to go and ask these media outlets that from where you got this information, so they'll just turn up and say that as per their sources. We didn't knew what kind of sources they had, and their sources were right or not. But yesterday, what happened that at CNBC in the evening, there was this town hall. There was this session which our finance minister was there as a guest, and CNBC guys were asking questions from the finance minister, and there was one question which was directly focusing on the cryptocurrencies. Now, finance minister is the biggest source. If she is saying something, all the rest things come to rest. So all the FUD, all the fear, all the doubts come to rest after yesterday's interview. So maybe if you would have been doing this event, maybe say day before yesterday, my answer would have been something else. But since yesterday event has happened, so my answer will be focusing after, it has changed a lot. The answer will be the reflection of what has happened yesterday. So what happened yesterday, let me tell you to your audience if they are not aware of. So yesterday what happened that when the question of cryptocurrencies was asked to the finance minister, by the way, you can also put in the link of that video, maybe Anupam, maybe after this event gets over, maybe you can put the link of the Twitter handle or Twitter where we have published that video, that interview of the finance minister. So what happened yesterday that finance minister has clearly said a couple of things. She said that yes, after the Supreme Court case, government had taken this on priority that they will bring some regulatory framework around this space. So they were already in discussion with the Reserve Bank of India, number one, and the Reserve Bank of India will be responsible for bringing the official digital currency, number two. And anything related to cryptocurrency also will be governed by the Reserve Bank of India. And many round of discussions have already happened with the Reserve Bank of India, right? And the whatever the Reserve Bank of India will be proposed, that obviously has to be approved by the cabinet of ministers, right? The cabinet has, so that shows that some media outlets which were claiming that the cabinet has already approved the ban, now the ban is imminent, that news is now wrong. That shows that news that was showing that cabinet has approved the ban, no, it has not happened, right? So that's the first good thing which turned out from the yesterday's interview, number one. Number two, she said that in spite of all these developments and all these things, India wants to keep a window. India wants to retain a window where they want to allow all the possible experiments in the crypto space. So in the interview held yesterday, she said that in that India wants to provide an interview wants to provide a window where they want to allow all the experiments possible in crypto space. So that again, that's a very important thing. Number two, she said that uh, India wants to take a calibrated approach. So a balanced approach, India is planning to take a balanced approach. So that is again a very important thing. Number three, she said that technology is growing at a much faster pace. It is growing at a rapid pace. India cannot pretend to say that, okay, fine, we want to accept this technology and we don't want to accept this technology, right? So we cannot pretend not to accept the change. So that is again a very important thing. Fourth, she said that India has led the fintech space. India has led, the fintech space. The classic example, the world is acknowledging our efforts. The classic example is UPI and RuPay. UPI, it's being taught as a case study in Oxford, Cambridge, and US think tank and all the developed nations are thinking about it. That were they sleeping on this? I mean, how India was able to provide banking solution to the unbanked through a simple interface called UPI, through internet and smartphones, and RuPay, which broke the monopoly of Visa and MasterCard. So world is talking about RuPay and UPI. And so in the same spirit, Nirmala Sitharaman, our finance minister, said that they want to lead in fintech and payment solution space in the payment dunya, she specifically said. Again, a great sign. So this shows that yesterday's interview, the feeling is that she might take a balanced approach. Though she has categorically said that no, this interview should not be taken as a clue. I don't want to give any clue, but
Yeah.
it seems that there is something going on where they might take a balanced approach, and I think that's a great sign. And I think I want to congratulate each and everyone who is part of this crypto space in India, who's working here. Because, and in spite of the fact that there were so many uncertainties, I mean, if it is even if it is Octaloop or WazirX or crypto influencers or crypto Kanun, everybody who is working in this space, I think they are the ones who should be congratulated, because in spite of all the fear, all the uncertainties, they kept working. They kept their heads high. They kept innovating, and they kept talking about it. Like the kind of event which you are happening right now, that shows that you want the message to go a long way. You want the message to spread the maximum. So that's the whole thing which happened yesterday. So there is not. So your question that people should leave the country, people should send their crypto outside, people should do this. Nothing to fear right now. Just be there where you are. The only thing which I would like to suggest at this point of time, that obviously still the regulatory clarity is not there. Only if you, even if you're investing in investing, so invest that amount which you can afford to lose till today, right? So you don't have to. So after listening to yesterday's interview, you should not do that. That you should go back and sell your jewelry and take all the money and put it in crypto. No, take crypto as a normal asset class. Try to identify how you want to diversify your investments, and place crypto as a part of your strategy as a diversified asset, and do not invest more money than what you can afford to lose, right?
Yeah.
So this is my whole this thing, but there is nothing to fear at this very juncture.
Right. That's a great answer, Kashif. Thank you for that. And the next follow-up question, which is an obvious follow-up question, is should they be fearful of cashing out their crypto and putting it into their accounts? And if it, I mean, maybe like you said, they don't have anything to fear about, but all the HNIs that who I have interacted with personally, and these guys are the real estate people, and the real estate market was down in 2015-16, so they put their money in crypto, and it has swelled up a lot. So if they cash out in their bank accounts, how should they worry about the taxation? If I mean, they are worried about the taxation. If they decide to sell their ETH and Bitcoin and put it all of the cash in their accounts, tomorrow government comes up saying yes, this is like 60% tax on crypto gains. Is that something that they should be worried about, or we should be worried about?
Okay. So to begin with, first of all, I would like to say a couple of things here. So first of all, high HNIs don't have to worry right now. Uh, right now, it is completely legal and it is completely fair to deal in crypto, right? Number two, after yesterday's interview, it seems that the government might take a balanced or a calibrated approach. Number two. Number three, I've said that that doesn't mean that you sell your other assets or other properties and jewelries and put that money in this space. This space is still risky. This space is still evolving. This space has regulatory challenges as well, and we are still not clear what kind of regulatory aspects might come. But this is for sure that 1 year back we were talking about a 10-year jail. Let me tell you, we were talking about people will be thrown into jails and they will be put behind prison for 10 years. I mean, now we are talking about a calibrated approach. Now we are talking about experimentations. Now we are talking about a window where the government might allow some experiments to happen. And even SC Garg, who proposed a ban on crypto, is saying that government can consider crypto as a commodity or as an asset class like gold, and maybe government can tax the income generated from it.
Yeah.
So as far as the purpose of taxation goes, so if today somebody sells crypto and takes money back into the account, so when we come to income, so there are two kind of incomes, right? One is business income and one is trading income. So if somebody was invested in Bitcoin, say in 2017, and now he wants to sell the Bitcoin in 2021. So this is like after 4 years, if the person is selling the Bitcoin, so it will be treated as a long-term capital gain, right? So because the person had bought something, hodled it for 4 years, and now wants to redeem it into INR. So obviously, once the person sells it and gets money into its account, so that will be treated as a long-term capital gain. So taxation will be, so the income will be treated under the long-term capital gains, then it will be taxed accordingly.
But
If
sorry,
the person,
sorry to interrupt, Kashif, but there is no way of telling how long I have been holding Bitcoin. Like I can be holding it from yesterday or 5 years earlier. They can't know, right?
okay, so they need to so if they are doing it, they must be doing it through an exchange, or they must be maintaining a record of it, right?
Right.
So suppose I did 20 transaction in 2017. So those have already surpassed 3 years. I might have purchased it in 2019. So those still have 3 years left to be treated as a long-term gain. Now, if I sell it before 3 years, those will be treated as short-term capital gains, right? So that income will fall under the short-term capital gain, right? And after 3 years, if I'm redeeming, that will be treated as a long-term capital gain. And suppose if I'm trading on regular basis, right? I'm trying to at 8 a.m. I bought it, and 10 a.m. I sold it, and I'm doing it on a regular basis. So that will be treated as a business income. So then it will fall under as a business income slab. So first of all, the most important part at this juncture is that first you need to maintain a record of what you are doing, how many transactions you have done. You need to maintain a complete data of that. You need to this is my personal suggestion, that in spite of the fact that the government is not clear about, there are so many things which are not clear right now, but if you are generating income from it, if you are making money out of it, you are making profit out of it, show it in your returns and pay taxes regularly. I think if this is going to help you in future. And as far as your question that government might come up with a taxation rules, or they might impose taxes on it. So suppose if they come up with a rule from today, so they cannot hold you, Anupam, and say, "Hello, Anupam, come here, pay us taxes from 2017 with a rate of 60%." No. If the rule, if the traffic light is installed on your road in front of your house today, so if you cross that traffic light today, so your challan will be done from today, right? It cannot happen that, Anupam, you crossed this road 5 years back or 2 years back, and then the traffic light was not installed. The traffic police cannot impose you a challan in the past by going back in the past. So you need not worry about it. Even if the rules they come up, even if the new fresh rules they come up after say 1 month, it will be implemented from that date, sir.
Perfect. Yeah, that's a relief. But again, not such a relief, because there are so many crypto transactions that people are doing. I'm pretty sure they're not keeping track of it. And for instance, most of the time, what happens is, like, instead of generating a crypto gain, as in like appreciation of Bitcoin, they're also getting income from other sources from outside of India in Bitcoin, and they're selling Bitcoin in India. So that is another something to think about, and probably you would of course advise everyone to keep that also in records, right?
All the incomes, including airdrops, including staking, including lending, trading, and selling through NFT, right? So all the income tax. When you say income generated through any mean, legal or illegal ways. So even if you kidnapped somebody and you got a ransom, that income is taxable,
Yeah. Okay.
right?
Yeah.
It is not income tax perspective to figure out that this income is legal or illegal. For that, there are different bodies. There is ED, there is police department, there is crime branch, there is CID who will say, okay, fine, this income which this person earned was legal or illegal. Income tax job is to get, okay, fine, this guy got an income, I need tax on that.
Correct.
So any income like today, airdrop, staking, lending, P2P, peer-to-peer, or trading, any income in crypto, if you are in earning, you need to maintain a record of it. And this is not an excuse that that people are not maintaining. People were not maintaining record. There is no excuse in that. Law does not excuse you for that. Law says that that you as a citizen has a responsibility to learn law of the land, to understand law of the land. Right? It is your due responsibility. You cannot come back tomorrow and say that I didn't knew this.
Yeah.
Right. So my suggestion to everybody is to maintain records and to be responsible for your actions. And wherever you have earned profits, get in touch with a certified CA, sit with them and discuss your income and pay taxes accordingly.
Interesting. Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's ironical, Kashif, because a lot of people bought crypto during demonetization were to avoid taxes. But like, a lot of people buy crypto to avoid taxes. And some people want to get paid in crypto to avoid taxes. So these are the also functionalities you can call of cryptocurrencies, that they are pseudonymous. Some are completely anonymous that government even wants to find out. They cannot find out that I hold Monero, how many Moneros I hold. So back in the 2015-16 era, government had raided the cryptocurrency exchanges at that time. How likely do you think is the scenario in India? Because in the US also, Coinbase was forced to give all the records to the US government, all the transactions that had happened, and who were the users who were doing 100 crores over. Like there was a threshold, and Coinbase had to leak all, not leak, but like not had to voluntarily give that data to the government, saying that these are the records of the people who had transacted of, like, say, $1 million per month. How likely do you think could be that scenario? Because the government has already done that in India.
So my answer to this question is that this will happen. So any central agency, any centralized authority will like to understand that the figures are public, right? So whenever government will come up with a regulation, what they'll do, first of all, they'll give a they might give a time to disclose your past uh, buying or selling of crypto, what you have done in the past, right? So once you have that in place, then government might ask the crypto exchanges that about the volumes and about those people where or those accounts where it has crossed a threshold limit as in their view, right? So there could be a possibility.
Okay.
But what I'm saying here, that if you as an individual, as a responsible citizen or as a responsible individual, you already know the income tax slabs which are there. You are confident that you can explain things to the regulator. You are in spite of the fact you might not have deposited taxes till today, maybe, but it is not late. Maybe in this 2021 you can sit with your chartered accountant and figure out how to that I have not deposited any tax on my gains till date, but I want to do it. Now I want to do it because tomorrow, say suppose if things get regulated and the regulator comes back and figures out that I have not paid my taxes accordingly. So at that, to avoid that hustle, let's do it today at my own this thing, right? So you are right that government still, there are a lot of cases in the past, because we also have a our law office as well in the name of fintech lawyers. So we do get cases in crypto, and government is already in touch with all the founders of crypto exchanges. So enforcement directorate and taxation department, they already know Nischal, they already know Sumit, and in many meetings, in many cases, these guys, they go to their offices and they try to help them. So that is already happening. That is the reason that government had only somewhere, now I tell you that is the only reason government could have come back with a ban, direct ban, outright ban on exchanges. But they knew that exchanges are the anchor point. Exchanges are the one-stop solution to their queries. So tomorrow, if something happens through crypto, they are able to crack that case easily through these exchanges, right? Because all the exchanges, India is the only country where we only have KYC based exchanges. We do not have a certified OTC. The OTC work under the cover, OTC work in the unorganized way. But in terms of exchanges, all the exchanges are following the KYC rules. So already these exchanges are helping the regulators. So tomorrow also, if they feel that they want to figure out that, okay, fine, we need to figure out who was doing more than 100 crore worth of trade. So they might do it. There won't be any surprise in that.
And legally, CoinDCX and WazirX are not bind in a way that they will not give the records to the government. As in, like they are not protected in any way legally. They will if government asks. Period.
No, they cannot hide anything from the government. And as a uh, uh, ethical business, I mean, which business will hide that information if a regulator asks that? If that business has to sustain in the country for years to come, obviously they'll try and help regulator in the best possible way.
But also, like, this is giving our data to the government without our consent.
So people do have, so for somebody who really want to so suppose there are who doesn't want to deal on the KYC exchanges, people do have an option of decentralized exchanges. But I don't think so that after regulation decentralized exchanges will be operating in the country, because I think it will be too high of an ambitious expectation to think that from day one India might allow decentralized exchanges. I don't think so. I think when India will begin with the baby step, the first step would be to allow the existing exchanges, or they might say that, okay, fine, get a license first of all, follow our already AML and KYC policies, and you need to report. You need to act like a banking sector. Today, banking is what, an agent of Reserve Bank of India, and they follow all the rules and guidelines as given by the RBI. So they might follow all those guidelines, and if somebody doesn't like dealing with the KYC based exchanges, they might not have any other option but to deal on decentralized exchanges at their own risk. And I don't know
Yeah,
what kind
Kashif,
of.
but those decentralized exchanges, even if they go through those, they can't get paid in INR, right? So they have to
They
either.
can't. They can't. They can't.
Yeah.
So at any for INR, they might go to a cash market,
Yeah.
and at that point of time, I'm sure the penalties or the punishment for dealing in cash or a decentralized exchanges might be severe. So I don't know how
You
many
wouldn't
people
you
deal
wouldn't
with that.
recommend you wouldn't recommend taking that non KYC route to the people.
Sorry.
You would not recommend people to go through non KYC route?
No, absolutely. After the regulatory, suppose the regulation comes up and it clearly defines the rules and how to deal in crypto. I don't think so that any responsible citizen should actually flout those rules or should bypass those rules. If the government has come up with a guideline, and if the government is allowing you to do it in a proper way, in a framework way, in a way that they want you to do it, I think that's the best possible chance and way of doing it.
Right.
Maybe when government will realize that, okay, fine, it's going fine and the government is benefiting out of it, they might come up with some more stronger and bigger steps. Like they might come up and say, okay, fine, now we are okay with the decentralized exchange, now we are okay with this, now we are okay with this. So first of all, let's hope and let's pray, let's hope that the government should actually come up with something positive, and let's hope that it is beneficial. Because what will happen once the government will allow this thing to prosper or take a baby step, a lot of people, suddenly you will see millions and millions of Indians will jump into this space.
Yeah, I can imagine Paytm and all these guys jumping into the bandwagon also.
Just imagine the kind of revenue government will earn. As per some estimates, government might earn, in the very first year of regulation, government might earn close to 7,500 crores of revenue only from tax, only from GST. Now think about income tax. Now the third thing is employment generation. There are close to 1 million people who will be directly and indirectly employed in the industry, right? So just try and see the volumes of which will happen. And now if few people are complaining that no, I wanted to work with decentralized exchanges and all that. So I mean, for them, they might have to figure out their ways, but I will certainly not recommend them the ways. Why? Because if the government is not allowing something, and to bypass that thing is not suitable for them, and it is not suggested at all.
Right. Yeah, Kashif, my second last question to you would be, because we are looking at the, like, for the past, all the questions that I asked, we are looking at from a perspective that things are going to be positive. So let's just play devil's advocate and think that, government introduces their CBDC, and since Bitcoin and all the cryptocurrencies are threatening INR, they try to, very in a limited way, try to ban cryptocurrencies and try to push their CBDC to people in a way that this is the cryptocurrency, this is the digital rupee, buy this, trade with this, and everything. So in terms of keeping that scenario in mind, what do you think will the likes of CoinDCX and WazirX's step would be, and what should be the step of normal citizens holding crypto will be? I mean, I hope that things work out. I am 100% with you, but since the decision is not out, it could go either way, right? But I'm 100% with you that I hope things work out fine. But what if they don't? What would be, like, in your head? What would be the first, with the coin? Because I was speaking with CoinDCX also yesterday, and they, even though they think that things are looking positive, they also have their plan Bs. They also have, going to the courts if things don't work out. They're very clear about this, that they will approach courts if things don't work out.
Yeah, so if suppose the worst case scenario is that government does a blanket ban, right, on all the private cryptocurrencies as per them. So private means anything which is not backed by them. So if they come up with that, so what will happen, that obviously the price will crash on the exchanges. So price is not determined by the exchanges. So price is a mechanism of a demand and supply. So there will be more sellers and less buyers, or almost negligible buyers. So what will happen? The prices will crash on the exchanges, and there will be huge losses to people who are going to sell through an exchange, right? So yes, there is a risk involved in that, and as far as, so if you see WazirX and CoinDCS, they only run an exchange. They only run a mechanism of there is a they are only a platform of allowing buyers and sellers to meet at their place, right?
Exactly.
And a custodian of the crypto, right? So other than that, I mean, definitely after this thing, the price will crash. We had seen earlier as well that the USDT in the international market was trading at 72, 73 rupees, and in India it was trading at what, 62 rupees one for one USDT.
Yeah.
So things can go weird, and there will be huge losses. That's the reason I'm saying that yes, if you have something existing, just keep it there, right? Nothing to worry. But do not go back home and sell your jewelry and or take a loan and put it in crypto, because otherwise, invest only what you can afford to lose. Number one rule in crypto right now.
Yeah.
Invest what you can afford to lose. So even if you lose a portion of that, it's not going to affect your lifestyle. So suppose it should not happen that, oh my God, everything has gone in crypto. Now I don't know how to live my life. Now I don't know how to eat my dal roti or a bread. So first golden rule is that, because this is a fact, I cannot give you an answer that no, Nischal will help you or Sumit will. They cannot help you. They can only allow that exchange to operate till the time government says, okay, 90 days period is there to dispose of your crypto. Now, government has to tell what is the way to dispose of. They have to come up with a plan that, okay, fine, these are the way of disposing it. Or you need to go to a bank, or there is a price which is fixed for BTC, LTC, Ethereum, or Ripple, or and you need to tell us what kind of crypto you are having. SBI will decide what rate they will give you. So can
Oh
it
my God. Don't.
so is
That's the worst case scenario.
that's the worst case scenario. So yes, that's the reason that this space is risky. This space is still evolving. But after yesterday's interview, I am hopeful,
Yes.
and not just me. The entire industry is hopeful that the government might take a calibrated approach, might take a thoughtful approach, might take a progressive with a progressive attitude. I think things should turn up well. But yes, you have actually asked a very right question, that what if there is a blanket ban? Yes, if the blanket ban is there, the prices will crash. People will won't understand that how to get their money, and people will go to cash markets also. There also they will not get the premium, because when they will go to somebody and say, okay, I want to sell my crypto in cash, He will say, I can only give you the rate which is there on the Indian exchanges,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So he will also try to get the most of that situation.
So they will be
Nobody's
selling
trying.
their USDTs at 62, 60, some like that.
Yes.
That scenario. That
Yes, yes. So things will be weird. Things will be things, and we have kept telling the government that 3 billion is the 2.5 billion is the volume of WazirX, and similarly, if you consider other exchanges as well, so there will be huge losses to people if the government does a blanket ban, because now there are already 7 million people in this space, and so more than 100 crores of business which is there on exchanges for monthly business volume which is happening. So I think the amount of losses will be huge if government does a blanket ban, because in 4 years this industry has grown multifold. So if government should have done a blanket ban, probably they should have done 3 years back when the industry was very small,
which
right?
they did,
Now it
Kashif,
has
which they did also, no? Which they did,
yeah,
but it was overruled. Yeah.
it was overruled. So there it was a ban on the banking channel, right?
Yeah.
But holding crypto was not banned, right?
Right.
Or dealing in crypto was not banned. It was just that you cannot ban through the entities of RBI. So entities of RBI is the banking system in India.
Makes sense. Perfect, Kashif. Before we wrap up, like last question from my side, Kashif, would be: can you tell us your journey into crypto and what you were like? You in the beginning, you suggested you were not into crypto and how it began, how you got into it. Just very briefly, if you could tell the audience, and that would be great.
Yeah, so I personally have a sales and marketing experience of close to 17 years of experience in marketing and sales. And I worked with started my career from FMCG, and in 2004 I used to work with a B2B selling platform. So it was an internet based platform. Then I worked with FMCG. I've worked with the bottling plants for beverage companies. Then I worked with the media company for the past 1 decade. So I worked with the best of brands, best of channels in the country, and like every other user, I was introduced to to Bitcoin by one of my friend during a train journey, and he convinced me to look at Bitcoin. That it is going to be the future. I said no, it's a Ponzi scheme. I don't want to even look at it. So don't come to me with this
Yeah.
thing again. I only believe in hard work, and I don't believe in all these things. So he said, okay, fine. You don't want to listen to my story. Fair enough. Then a couple of days back, again, he told me that, yeah, trust me, this is a very good thing. Just look at it. And then I decided to look at it, and there was this ZPay app where he was showing me this Bitcoin, and the
Oh,
price was
nice. So this
fluctuating.
was around 2018, 17-ish,
It was it was 2016, I
16.
think. It
Okay.
was, yes,
Right.
late 2016 and early 2017.
Right. Right. Right.
So, and then he convinced me to do that, and I said, okay, fine, let me go ahead with this. And then I did that, and then later on, while I was in this industry, I wanted to learn a lot about this space. So what I figured out, the one area where whenever I used to wanted to understand something, I had to go to the international YouTubers, international media, or international blogs. There was nothing in India, right? So if I wanted to understand in Hindi, or I wanted to understand from somebody who is Indian, right? And if I wanted to understand the legal implications of it, there was nothing available in India
Yeah.
in 2017-18, right? So there, I think I said, okay, fine, and that was the time. That was the time when most of the scammers were also active in 2017. So there was this
Yeah. Yeah.
pyramid schemes.
Yeah.
There was this pyramid schemes which are going on. There was this multi marketing. What you call
MLMs.
um, MLM schemes. MLM schemes in crypto were very, very frequent. So a lot of companies approached me as well for investing in that. But somehow I figured out that a lot of people were investing in that, right? And then I thought in 2000, this was there in my mind that, yeah, there should be some channel which should actually uh, help people understand this technology better. Otherwise, people will end up losing a lot of money, and people were losing money. And then one fine day, this RBI ban turned up in April 2018, right? 6th of April.
Hmm.
And so when this ban turned up, so me and my co-founder, uh, we decided to, okay, fine, said this ban has happened today. Let's tell the people what this ban is actually. So people were saying that the crypto has been banned, like you just said that. So a
Yeah.
lot of people were saying crypto has been banned, but that ban was actually a banking ban.
Yeah.
So first that thing had to be decoded to people in the, and so we had to read that circular. Nobody was reading it. So because since we had this law background, my co-founder, I am a marketing and sales guy. My co-founder is a advocate in Supreme Court and High Courts of India. So he somehow got that copy of RBI circular and things in detail. And then we had written an article on Medium. So from there our journey started. So our first platform was Medium. Then we said, yeah, let's publish it on some other platform where people have a where it can go to large number of people, or it should reach out to maximum number of people. So we figured out Twitter is the best way of doing it. So
Yeah.
we then on 6th of April itself, we got this Twitter handle in the name of Crypto Qanun, and then we shared this Medium. And this article on Medium was first published by CCN. If you remember, CCN used to be
CCN. CryptoPunch News.
CCN.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the first news media which published our article, and then that article became, quite viral during that time. And I think in 3-4 days we got like 500 followers on Twitter, and so it got us like very excited. And then we said, okay, fine. People were asking for having a YouTube channel also. Then I went to YouTube as well, and then the rest is history.
Right. Right.
So
So
it was not
it
planned at
started
all.
off with you simplifying the verdict, and then and you are still, in the same line, trying to simplify
Yeah,
everything for everyone. Right.
trying
Perfect.
to simplify, because I think the people in the country still want to understand, and it is still a nascent. We are at a very nascent stage. People want to understand crypto in a very simplified way. Is it good? Is it bad? What are the challenges? And it will continue to remain for
Yeah.
years to come.
Yeah.
And we will continue to help people in our own ways. And I think let's see that everybody is enjoying this journey. It's quite challenging, and people will remember our effort in times to come. I think that
Sure.
gives a lot of satisfaction.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, Kashif, I won't take much of your time. Thank you so much for taking out the time and speaking with us. And if people want to reach out to you, I assume Twitter and YouTube is probably where you can find him. But if you want to reach
Yeah,
out,
yeah.
talk to him. Twitter probably is the best way.
@Crypto Qanun,
Yeah,
and on YouTube also at youtube.com/Crypto Qanun.
yeah.
So
Perfect. Thank you so much, Kashif. You have a good night. I'll speak to
yeah,
you.
thanks a lot, Arnav.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye. All right, guys. Thank you for joining in. This is the wrap for today. I'll see you tomorrow around 3:30ish. I think that's when our first session is. You can find the schedule at unblock.octaloop.com. Bye bye.